Hello mga kabongga! Welcome to my YouTube channel. Sa mga hindi pa nakapag-subscribe, please click the subscribe below. GUC, it sounds like Korean pero it's actually my initial for George Obales Calixterio. That's why it's GUC. Para magmukhang Korean, ginawa na siyang GUC. But anyway, pag hindi pa kayo nakapag-subscribe, subscribe na and please click the notification button for you to be notified just in case I have a new videos. And sa mga hindi pa nakapag-subscribe, subscribe na rin and please um, leave your comments just in case na mapadaan kayo sa channel ko at mapanood tong video na to and say your thoughts. Yung topic naman natin ngayon sa video na to is about one of my experience. Um, this is a very memorable experience for me because I learned so many things in this experience. This was my experience when I left home, dropped my job, and I stowed away. Opo, naglayas po ako. I left uh, my teaching job in the university for a year, and I went to Manila to I don't know, it was actually a waste of my time, but marami pa akong napulot na learnings. I pick up a lot of lessons that I learned so much, and even up to now, pag binabalik-balikan ko, I don't have any regrets that I have done it because I learned so much from it. I've learned many things from that experience and made me a better person of who I am today. So, balikan natin, rewind year 1995. That was already my first year of teaching in the university. And then there was an occasion, I think, that I was just upset in the house. And I decided to uh, leave my job. I filed a leave of absence without pay from the university with a backpack with only a couple of shirts, some of my credentials, IDs, identifications, and um, I think I had with me some of my um, documents just in case I need a job. And importantly, I got a little bit of money. So for the year I was teaching, I tried to save money. Ang nangyari I went to the bank, withdrawed all of the money in that account, and then took a bus, went to Davao City. Now, when I was in Davao City, that was around, I think, about 10 o'clock in the morning, I passed by in a travel agency and my that time there was a very famous megastar in the Philippines who was a brand ambassador of Super Ferry. And then it caught my attention because I saw the poster as I walked past that travel agency when I was in city of Davao. So I came back. I asked the receptionist if what are the schedule of the trips. Is there a trip going to Manila? And she told me that there was a trip to Manila about 12 o'clock in the morning. So, without hesitation, I said, okay, I need one ticket to Manila. And then I bought a ticket. When I have my ticket, I took a taxi and went to the port of Davao. And I was so excited because that was my first time to um, be on board a big super ferry. So 12 o'clock, passengers started to get up in the ship. So I went there, gave my ticket, looked for my bunk bed, and settled. And then I went in the, yung sa parang terasa or veranda ng barko. And then the boat started to move away from the port. And I really, really have that regret because of that very abrupt decision that I have to leave the island of Mindanao. I'm going to Manila, although I have a sister there, but I did not really intend to stay with my sister. I left my family, I left my job, and no one knows exactly of my whereabouts. Hindi ko sinabi, I did not tell them where I am I going. My alibi in the school was I'm taking a leave of absence without pay for a year for a sabbatical leave. But actually, that was not the purpose. I was just upset. I just want to leave the family, my family in Mindanao, and want to go to Manila. Because for me before, when you say Manila, Manila have a lot of opportunities. Um, if ever I'll be looking for a job, I was very, very positive that I said I will be getting a job anytime I want because modesty aside, I finished my degree in college with a Latin honor. And, you know, with that very young, rebellious mindset that I have, I was not really worried about it. I was confident. I was not even nervous. But when I saw the ship was trying to um, started moving out, I regret. And I said, "Oh, why I'm doing this one?" But then I shift straight away. I said, "Well, I have done it already. So, kumbaga, I'm already wet. So, well, I have to just dive and continue my swimming." So, to cut the story short, after 2 nights uh, na nasalaot in the ocean, so many things that came into my mind, plan what to do when I arrive in Manila, and things like that. What I have to do, where I'm going to stay. But I said, whatever. The word whatever is really a big thing that time because I said, whatever happens to me, I'm already there. So I said, so be it. I'll take all the consequences. So when I arrived in Manila, what I did was, when everybody started to go down in the ship, you will see passengers being greeted by their family members, maybe their friends or whoever meeting them that lives in Manila. Everybody were quite excited, maybe, and happy seeing each other. Me, I only have my backpack. Went out to the port, and I said, whatever the first bus, a jeepney that passed and stopped in front of me, I'll take it. So well and truly, there was one jeepney who stopped. So I just hopped in the jeep without knowing where it is going as long as I'm already there. And I paid, I cannot remember how much I paid, but the jeepney, after all the passengers uh, hop out already of the jeepney, I am the only one passenger. I said, "Oh, Mr. Driver, just only in the crossing. I'll stop there." So I hop out of the jeep. I don't know exactly where I am, but uh, after reading all the signs, signboards, or whatever I've seen that time, I was in Baclaran. And well and truly, I was in Baclaran. The first uh, place that I went was the Redemptorist Church, where This is a very famous church in the Philippines, especially in Manila. When you say Baclaran Church, that is a Redemptorist church. Mostly, uh, people always go there. Some celebrities go there. It was featured in magazines, featured in TV series, maybe, or movies. So I went there, get inside the church. I think that was almost 5 o'clock early in the morning because the ship arrived about 2:30 or almost 3 o'clock in in the morning, early in the morning. So I just sat down for a time being. I said, "Well, Lord, I'm already here. I'm a little bit stupid, so I said, just um, keep me safe and just take me to the right places." So that's what I did, and then I took uh, a breakfast. Nung nag-araw na, when the place was already, uh, you can see everything. Street lights were turned off, and you'll see that you're really in the middle of a busy, bustling city. I was so amazed because I said some of these buildings I only saw in movies uh, or television. So what I did, I looked for a very, very cheap lodging house where I can stay for a time being. And that time I was not really worried because I have money. Um, I have some money to spend. So what I did in my first weeks of staying in Manila is mainly sightseeing, looking for where is Lunita. I went to SM Mega Mall, um, going to Harrison Plaza, those big shopping centers, and I was so amazed because, well, growing up in a very rural and a small locality down south, all of those infrastructure, it's a new thing in my eye. And then, to cut the story short, I stayed there for maybe a month or so, to the time that I cannot really afford already to buy, to pay for the um, daily rate of the lodging house. It's a little bit embarrassing. It's because I ended up uh, escaping the landlady that always come and knock on the door and ask for a payment every day. I said I'm just waiting for my money to be sent by my family back home. I said I think I was delayed already for almost a week, so I have not paid my rent for almost a week, and I just stow away again. I just escaped and I vanished totally. I have not paid that. It's quite embarrassing, but I said on that time I did not really care because if I have to pay, nothing will left for me. I still have to eat. And soon I ran out of budget. I don't have money, of which literally I live on the street. Looking back, it's a little bit sad having thought that I live on the street. Literally, I sleep in the sidewalk of Harrison Plaza, SM, shopping center, or in the underpass, under the bridges, using only newspapers that I laid on the ground, or sometimes it's already luxury if I found a big, thick carton or boxes that I have to flatten it so I can sleep on top of that. Half of your mind is asleep and half is awake because anytime a police will pick you up, or something will happen on the street and you will be stabbed, or you don't know exactly what's happening. But during that time I was really, really fearless. I was not afraid sleeping on the street, sleeping in the park, especially in Lunita or Bayview, Baywalk, or along the seasides in Rojas Boulevard. And to the point It's because I cannot afford already to stay in an accommodation. It was also a heartbreaking truth and reality that, sometimes if you are really in the brink of trouble, you have no money, you have no relatives, or you have no friend in a place as big as Manila, you will do things that you yourself, you might be surprised that you have done it. Because of desperation, I was hungry. I experienced to just drink water in a successive 3 days without something to eat. Uh, yeah, that's what I did. Pupunta ka lang sa gripo. You go to the top, turn it on, drink a lot of water, and find a quiet place where you can sleep. It could be under the tree or in the park or um, at the back of the building where no one really comes there, to um, you're not disturbed, so you can have a little bit of a sleep. But well, you have nothing to do anyway, so I just sleep there, and then I go to shopping center wherein there's a massive fast food. Some people will order a lot of food in surplus. They just eat a little bit portion of this and that, and they will just leave the table with still have a lot of food left over. So what I did out of desperation, I just sat down and ate the leftover of some people. And sometimes you can get that look from bypassers, saying that why this person is eating the leftover of someone. It's embarrassing. It's yucky, maybe, or I don't know. But during that time, because my stomach is craving for food, I was hungry. I don't even think that it's not hygienic anymore as long as I have something to um, feed my stomach. Um, so I did it. And what else? It was still, I was still blessed and lucky because when I was in the park, I was trying to talk to people, making my own story that I said I stayed away from the family because I have problem with them and blah blah blah. But actually, some of them are made up stories. I did not told them that I have a job in my place, that I was teaching in the university, and that this and that. But because I was so young that time, very rebellious and fearless and adventurous at the age of 21, I can do everything that I myself now might just say that, oh, how the hell on earth I have done that. So what I did, I met some group of young guys and said, "Oh, where are you going? Where are you staying on the daytime? And I only meet you here in the park at night to, some of them I just met to a place where we congregate and sit down there and sleep there, and because we don't have a house, we are actually street people." And they said, "Oh, if you want to have a little bit of money, you can come with us in Red Cross, and we can." I said, "What are we going in Red Cross?" "Oh, don't you know that they are buying some blood there?" So sumama ako sa kanila. One day, I go with them. We went to Red Cross. That time, I remember, they don't have that proper screening of your blood if you have how do you call this one, hepatitis B, or you are HIV carrier or something like that. All they do is they will just test your blood, if what's the type of your blood, and after that they will draw already blood from you. So I got tested. My blood type was AB, and everybody knows, and even up to now, having a blood type AB is quite rare. The scarcity of the supply of type AB is very high. It's not the same as type O that everybody have the same Plenty of people who have a type O, but looking for type AB sometimes is very, very hard to find. And I said, "Oh my God," I said, "I was just so lucky that I'm still blessed with uh, a scarce blood type, simply because type O, the 1500 cc type O, I think Red Cross is just paying only about 275 pesos. Same as the type A is a little bit expensive. B is same price as type A, but the type AB is very expensive. It's, I think, about, I remember it's only about more, about 576 pesos per 1500 cc. 576, most likely that is about shall we say 13 Australian dollar. So I enjoyed visiting Red Cross simply because they pay for my blood for 576 pesos, and then you have a couple of hours to sleep in a folding bed. And during the time, folding bed, sleeping in a folding bed is also already a luxury for me because, well, I sleep only in those flat cardboards, cartons, and newspaper. And it's either you have two choices. You can eat a noodles with an egg, or a congee, which is similar to our arroz caldo or lugaw, or shall we say it's a ginger porridge really, with egg, with a little bit of meat, and that is free. So I said it's beneficial because you are paid, you have food, and you have folding bed. Then after that, maybe every 2 weeks, I visit Red Cross, and that's the only thing that suffice. At least somehow, sometimes I can eat a little bit in a very small sidewalk, or fast uh, small carinderia in the sidewalk that uh, cook the very uh, less expensive food. So sometimes I just order a cup of rice, and I ask for a lot of soup, and very a little bit of those fish dishes or meat dishes. Or sometimes it's just, I just buy rice, and I ask nicely the lady if she can spare me some cup of soup, and that's already my meal. It was a shall we say, an eye opener that in a big city like that, you don't have money. You try your different means to survive. I think the only thing I can remember that I have not done uh, when I was a stowaway is to do some snatching or steal some money and prostitution. If only I know that during the time I have beautiful body, I can sell my body and become a prostitute, and. But thanks God for that. I have not done that. That's the only thing that I have not done. Doing drugs, uh, prostitution, and stealing some people's money. I have not done that one because, well, I live almost 4 years of my high school life in a very religious way. 2 years with the nuns and 2 years with the priest. So what you expect if you live with these religious people? All you have to do is rosary and pray, and know about the Word of God and the life of Jesus and things like that. So, um, to cut the story short, when I left um, my family back down south, my body was, my physique was good, because that was the time that, at the age of 21, your body is already developing some nice muscles, and you started building your muscle mass, and because you eat already things that you wanted to eat because you can afford it, because you have the job. Your activity is lesser than when you are still a student, so you know comparable to a fruit that is really ripe and ready to pick up. It's just like I was a blossoming flower, shall we say. And then living on the street for almost a year, I lost the I lost that good physique, to the extent that my eyes is very deep, my cheekbone is very prominent, my this shoulder, the collarbone is really protruding, and I look like a hanger. Literally, I was so thin. My buttocks is really flat, which is my asset. They always say that, oh, your bum is meaty and things like, but I lost it all. So to cut the story short, it's almost a year that I live in the street. I came to realize that I said, why I have to live on the street. The fact that I am professional, I have a job back home, and I miss my family. And that's when I realized that, I've done a very, very stupid um, decision in my life. I wasted a year of my life doing this, living in the street. For what? So I tried to communicate with my mom. During that time, there's no telephone, there's no, shall we say, cell phones. You can go to the telephone operators and do some long distance, but it's quite expensive until I met someone that was very kind of me. And I said, I need to communicate to my mom. So she offered if she can help me to communicate with my mom through Telegram. So I communicated with my mom. I told my mom that I said, please pick me up. I'm here in Manila. I want to go home. And then my address. So my mom was so excited because I know at the end of that experience, when we were talking already back home, she told me that before she left, she briefed all my siblings that no one will try to um, scold me or to give me a handful of a word that why I'm stupid, this and that. She said that when I get home, it seems like I'm from a vacation or a holiday. No questions, no asking, or no scolding or something. It's just like a drama of a prodigal son going back home. So when I met my mom in Manila, I met her in the port, in the seaport. When she saw me, she dropped all her things and ran towards me and give me a hug. Sorry, I'm a little bit emotional, but yes. She hugged me, and the first thing she asked was what sort of food I'm going to eat if I'm hungry. Because, well, maybe she can tell in my face, in my body, that I lost a lot of weight, no much nourishment. And the look of someone that have not eaten for years, maybe. So she took me in McDonald's and she asked me, would you like some fried chicken? Just order whatever you want and we will pay for it. And we eat. So while I was eating and enjoying the spaghetti and the fried chicken, which for me that was already a luxurious food I have been eaten for so long, and she was asking why what I have, where I live, what I have done for years, and for 4 months that I was living, and she told me that she was sick, looking for me. They even went to the fortune teller and asked where I was because they don't know exactly where I went. I have not communicated with them, and and sometimes she said she dreamed that I was drowned in a lake or a river, something like that. I said, yeah, I was. maybe that's the time that I was already struggling here in Manila. So we went back to our hometown from Manila, and then I said, with my situation physically, I look not right as a physical educator because I was teaching in the university as a physical education instructor, and I said I'm so thin, I look like shit. I said I don't have a face to face my workmates. I said I feel embarrassed, mom. I said so. My mom accompanied me to see my college director, and she tried to explain what happened to me because I was quite embarrassed to narrate really what was the experience, of which my college dean gathered all of my colleagues and conducted a faculty meeting and briefed them that, exactly the same, just like what my mom did to my siblings, that no question, just take like Professor Calixter, you just went for a vacation, and because they know that I was upset and it might trigger another thing, and I might lose my senses and will stow away again. So it was very, very kind of my mom to help me to pick up the pieces again and start anew. And that was the time that I realized that my mom's love was great for her children. She will do everything for the children. And it pained for a mother to see her children, I think, was exactly the same as my experience. And it was very kind of my mom to help me to get through that without judging and without telling me off. She embraced what I said, only on the later part that I tried to be very brief of what I did really in Manila, and she herself cannot fathom exactly how the hell I survived that. So that experience, it's a little bit sad, emotional, even still up to now. That every time I go back in the Philippines and um, have a time for myself to stay in Manila, I always go back to the place where I lived before, well, where I sleep, where I hung out during the time when I was living on the street. It brings back memories just to reminisce. And because, well, obviously my circumstance change. Every time I go back in Manila, I go to the fast food. I eat some food and bring bro bought some food for takeaway, and whoever I pass by in the street where I see homeless people, I give them food, and sometimes I even visit Lunita and try to talk to people who literally live in the park because they don't have a house, and I can see myself to them. And sometimes, if their story and their genuine is just right for me, I give them a little bit of financial help because I said I myself I live in the street before, and it was by God's grace that I was able to change the course of my life. And because of that experience, nung bumalik na ako, and even up to now, I always reminded me the importance of every cent of a centavo, every drop of a food on the table. People might even think that it's strange for me to pick up a little bit of rice on the table and I still eat it. It's because I experienced to live without eating 3 days, all you have to do is just drink water and sleep after that because you are hungry. So, things that I valued small things, and I appreciate big things. But I can tell that, you know, time will come that I have to go back from the scratch. I know that I can survive because I know what's life there. I've been there. I get through that. I know how to live that life. And I'm just blessed that, somehow my life is a little bit comfortable as compared before because I live here in Australia. I know who would have thought someone who live in the park, in the sidewalk, can change your course, the course of your life, and become somebody somehow. It's simply because of believing in yourself that you can still do something better. You experience a lot of hardship, trials along your journey, along the way as you live. But then in every journey, you pick up some pieces. You learn from that experience. It builds your character and makes you a better version of yourself. So that experience made me realize that I'm still lucky enough to um, get through that and make my life better. So yan lang siguro mga friends. Um, Lesson learned from that experience. We have to be positive always. Sometimes if our parents are telling us off, I'm sure it is for our own good because there's no parents who just want to scold you for nothing. They just want something the best for their children. So positive vibes lang tayo, no? You just always think positive, spread positivity and love, forgiveness and acceptance, and